Oh, hey, it's Taylor, otherwise known as Woodhag, here on the internet. This week we're going to be finishing the painting that we started last week. So if you didn't see that video, I'll link it below. But here she is. We sketched her up and did an underpainting on her. And today we're going to be doing the final painting on her. I'm really excited, so stick around and we'll work through her. I think she's gonna turn out really cool.
So right away, I'm going in with this pale lavender, and I can tell almost instantly, you can see I kind of paused there, I can tell almost instantly that doing this underpainting was a brilliant idea. I am so happy that I just went for it. I was thinking about doing a couple studies in my sketchbook, but I just kind of went for it, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I didn't show the entire background painting process because it's just the same color and just kind of painting around all the objects, so I kind of skip around a little bit on the just on the sky portion, but yeah, I'm going in with that pale lavender and a number 6 Craftimo brush. Pretty much for this entire painting I use a number 6 and then a little bit a 0, and then I'm using all Holbein acrylic wash, which is my favorite. If you've seen any of my other painting videos, you know that it's kind of my go-to to paint just about everything with. I know that it's not really made for everything, and I have picked up just acrylics to craft with since then, but I love my wash. And yeah, already, even just with the flat background color, it's already looking whimsical. And that was kind of the purpose of this painting, is I just wanted it to be really whimsical, really dreamy. It was inspired by Alice in Wonderland, which is one of my favorite novels. And yeah, just kind of little psychedelic action, little mushroom moment. I like the part in the movie where she takes the mushroom and her neck grows long, and I thought that it would make kind of a fun painting to do with one of my girls in my style. Yeah, so I'm still just kind of going in, finishing up the sky. Now I'm going in with a pale pink color to paint in the clouds. I really liked this pale pink color. It was the first time I used it, and I thought it layered really nicely over the fluorescent pink. It made it just a really nice depth and color change. It makes it look almost white, but not quite. Just fun and whimsical. So what have you guys been up to this week? As I'm filming this, I'm currently watching a hamster. So I have to go over to my friend's house every other day to check on her hamster. And she's really cute. It's a little dwarf hamster named Fluffball Elizabeth, which I just think is just kind of perfect. She's owned by 2 little 8-year-olds, and they just adore her. So I'm trying to make sure that I take extra good care of her, make sure she has food and water, because she is just very, very cute. I've been pet sitting kind of a lot lately because I watched my friend's cats just a week or 2 ago as well. Rudy and Mama Cat, as it were. They used to have a baby cat, but baby cat ran away because he was feral. He wasn't very nice, but it's still sad that he ran away. Yeah, I'm not being super tedious with painting over the clouds. Normally I paint around my line work, but I noticed that the line work still showed through this paint pretty well, so I wasn't too precious with painting around the lines like I normally am. And yeah, I really like already like how the underpainting's looking, how it's tying everything together so far. I realized I thought I painted a lot thicker than what I do, but it just only feels that way because I painted on white paper. So the colors would be, you know, pretty true to what they look like in the tubes. But actually going in and painting on this underpainting, I realized I don't paint quite as thick as I thought I did. So that was kind of cool to learn. It's fun to try out new things and test new things. I'll definitely be using this technique in the future. Especially because any excuse to use neon pink, and you're telling me I can paint a whole painting neon pink? Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So now I'm going in with a lilac and I'm filling in the background mushrooms. The background mushrooms are all just like, they're just supposed to be like solid color shapes just to give the illusion of her being in kind of a mushroom forest. So we're not being precious with lines or anything. We're just going in and filling in some of the background space. I really like some of the little mushrooms. I think they're cute. And I really like how my drippy mushrooms turned out. I know it's not a super original idea, but I just think they're neat. I'm really liking how this lilac is looking with the pale lavender. I think it's a really good like color pair, complementary color maybe. Yeah, I don't know. But I think it looks really good together. So I'm digging it. I'm going in and adding a couple extra little mushrooms. I felt like that side needed just a little bit more. So I'm going in just painting a couple more. And then the pink was showing through a little bit too strongly in this mushroom, so I kind of am just going over it a little bit more with a little bit more lilac paint. And then it's a little bit blurry here for just a second while I'm painting the stems. I'm using shell pink, I believe is the color for that. I kind of wish I would have just used the pale pink again and brought that color down. Would have probably made more sense, but that's not where my brain was at the time, so that's not what I did. But now we're going in with my handy dandy pink. I think this color is just straight up called pink. Yeah. And it's my bright day glow color that I absolutely adore. I thought it'd look cute with the twisty turny mushroom caps. And it's funny because this color I feel like does just kind of cover the fluorescent pink of the underpainting. I feel like you don't get too much of the depth from the underpainting. It's just pink. But I like the way that it contrasts the lavender in the sky and the lilac of the other mushrooms. I love this color so much. It just is, it's a perfect color, really. I think there was a piece of hair. I'm in my studio and there's, I have a bunny in here and I have a dog that roams the whole house. So there's always some kind of animal hair stuck to my paintings. Any of you guys ever have that problem with animal hair getting stuck in your paint? I feel like every project I do, I'm wiping away and blowing off animal hair. Just can't seem to beat it. And yeah, I decided to make the eyes pink to kind of bring that color up to the top of the painting. Her little plugs are pink. And her lips as well, as you can see. And yeah, of course, I have to paint the little flower action pink as well. I thought it was cute. I thought it was silly. And then I almost forgot to paint this mushroom that she's holding, but I remembered at the last minute. And then I think I go in and paint. I had forgotten to paint the stem when I was painting the stems. So I go in and paint the stem that she's holding. I've been really liking my paintings of 2025. I had a slow start to the year. I was really busy with school and work and everything that I didn't get much painting done in the beginning of the year. But I'm on a break from school now, and it's been really nice. I'm not looking forward to going back, even though I know it's good for me. But just having so much more free time, I've just been feeling so creative. And I've really started painting a lot. And that's been really nice. So I'm trying to keep that momentum going without burning myself out. Because I love to paint. I feel the most like me when I'm painting. And yeah, I mean, I think a lot of you guys can probably relate to that. Like, when you call yourself an artist, you feel the most alive and the most like you when you're making art. And when it's been kind of a while since you've made art, you know, you kind of get a little bit depressed. Maybe not everyone, but that's definitely how it is for me. I like outlining the clouds in this bright pink color. I think it just brings it throughout the piece really nicely. And just adds more like whimsy that's supposed to be kind of like Twilight. Little Twilight action. Makes it look like the sun is glowing off the clouds as it's setting or something, and the moon is just popping out. We got the first few stars of the night coming in, and she's just walking through this forest, feeling all the vibes. Doing a little bit of shading here. The color ended up turning really gray, but I don't mind because it's supposed to be like the natural part of the mushroom, and all I did was mix the lilac with the shell pink. And then I think I mixed the lilac with just the pink here, just to add a little bit of depth to the twirly cap mushrooms. Yeah, I really like using like purples and blues and those kind of colors to shade shadows. I know a lot of artists do. It's nothing revolutionary, but I've always been a big fan of it. And then I'm just going in with a yellow highlight, which I thought was cute and fun. And I think I make the dots yellow too, yeah. Which I liked better. I thought it tied in the highlight nicely. Doing a little bit of shading around the mouth and the eyes and the plugs. Her little third eye is so cute. And then yeah, I decided to use, I mixed, what did I do? I think I have like an ultra, what color is this? Like a violet that I mixed with lilac to tone it down just a little bit. to paint the drippies on the mushrooms. They're supposed to be reminiscent of inky cap mushrooms, but I didn't want to use black like you see in typical inky caps. I wanted to use something a bit more whimsical. Even though I'm always wearing black, I don't really like to paint with black ever. Which maybe I should experiment with painting with black a little bit. We'll see. I end up outlining the mushrooms in this same kind of purple color, just to bring a little bit of darkness to the bottom of the page. In my head, it was like the moon's up top, so it's kind of lighter colors up top, and then as we're getting away from it, more towards the ground, the colors shift and get a little bit richer and darker. You can see my paint's still wet as I'm trying to do this line. I should have waited for it to dry, but I'm impatient. If I was smart, I'd work on more than one painting at a time, but oh well. You can see I switched to my zero brush to do this outline. And I got a little bit of paint on my hand there. And then back to the 6. I like the way the 6 outlines, because you can be like pretty precise with it, but then it still gives like a really like chunky and organic outline that I like. And then yeah, I'm going in and painting her base color. This color is like my quintessential demon girl color, whatever you want to call these girls that I paint. I call them like fairy demon girls. But this is like, every time I make one, this is the color that I envision. It's that ice green from Holbein. And I love it. I love this color so much. I love it paired with the pink. It's my favorite combination. And yeah, whenever I draw one of my girls or sketch one of my girls, I always kind of envision them in this color. I try to mix it up and do them in different colors. I've been liking the pale lilac a lot for my girls lately. And I've been doing quite a few in that color, but this ice green is really like the classic color that I envision them being. And yeah, you can see we're getting a lot of depth from that fluorescent underpainting shining through, and it's making some really interesting like shapes and shadows and stuff, with them being kind of like opposite colors on the color wheel a little bit. It's just so interesting, the colors that we're getting. I definitely went in and painted the body before I painted the face, because painting the face is so tedious. There's so much information in the face that I don't want to lose while I'm painting. So I did a warm-up by starting to paint the body, get my hand warmed up to starting to be a little more tedious and a little more precious with my lines and stuff before going in and painting the face. But you can see this color plays really well with the purples and the pinks. Just overall, I really dig just kind of the pastel vibes. God, this is sped up double time. I am such a slow painter, I'm realizing. Trying to talk for however long this video is, you run out of things to say. Because it's just like, yep, I'm painting. Here I go, doing more painting. But I don't know. I like watching kind of chatty, silly, goofy videos. So you know, that's what I like to make, so that's what I'm gonna make. I've been trying to be more active on my social medias lately. It's hard, man. Those algorithms are tough, but I know that it's something that I have to just kind of get over if I want to get my art out there. Painting this neck was actually pretty fun because it's just a lot of open space, so I could just kind of slather paint on it. I didn't have to be super precious, but it felt like I was getting a lot done at the same time. But yeah, I don't know how anyone can stand Instagram anymore. It's so hard to, like, I feel like I post stuff and it just doesn't show anybody my stuff anymore, and like it's so hard to grow a following now, and I just don't know. I don't know the secrets, you know? Maybe there's something that I could be doing better that I'm just not. I should try posting more. That would honestly probably help. I don't post very frequently, but it's just art takes time, and I don't have a lot to share. You know, when I was a little bit younger and maybe not quite as good at art, I could post a lot more frequently because it didn't take as long to do pieces and stuff. But as my style's kind of evolved and as I've grown in my skills, you know, it takes longer to do pieces now. Just social media was not made for artists. Because it feels impossible to crank out a new piece like every day while you're in school or working, or both, like me. Like, there's just not enough hours in the day to do everything that you want to do. And I feel like social media kind of punishes you for that, but it is what it is, though, you know? I know that if I keep trying, I'll get there. And if you're watching this, you're helping, so thank you. But yeah, I've always wanted to be an artist ever since I was a kid. I mentioned in one of my other videos, but I went to a graphic design school when I was fresh out of high school. And graphic design is just not for me. I'm much more interested in like illustration and fine art. And I know that it's a hard field to break into, but we're trying. We're trying. I feel like I have such a niche style that I just need to find what groups I vibe with. I know I did some vending at like EDM shows and stuff. And I might try doing that again. Because my art does pretty well at those shows. I guess I should mention that I do have an Etsy shop. I only have like 5 sales on it, so it's nothing like crazy, but I do sell prints and stickers, and I am looking at making some new prints and stickers. I think I want to make prints of this guy because I do like how she turned out. And yeah, we're going in with the first layer of shadows. I think I mixed the ice green with a little bit of lilac and a little bit of Prussian blue. Prussian blue is my favorite for adding shadows. It's a really deep blue, And it just makes gorgeous shadows. They really just kind of pop off the page. I like that little stroke I just did because I wanted the neck to be more twisty. But yeah, if you guys have any advice for, you know, starting small business and starting off as like a small artist, definitely leave it down below. I'm sure I'm not the only one that'd be interested in that. You know, tips and tricks of the trade. Because I just don't know, you know, it's all guesswork. And I just want to paint what I like. And, you know, I know that there has to be people out there that will dig what I do. It's just finding them. And I know that it takes a while to build an audience or whatever. But I'm bad at being patient, I suppose. But that's okay. I'm learning. And yeah, we're just going in and carving out some of the ear shapes here, giving them a little more depth. I like how I ended up shading the face. I like that I decided to cast a bigger shadow on the face instead of what I originally kind of had. I thought about doing like a Shopify and being able to print my art on different media and stuff, but I think they take a pretty big cut. I don't know. I have to look into it more. But that would be kind of cool. It'd be cool to get like notebooks and stuff with my art on it. I'd really dig that. So yeah, I'm just going in with you know, a darker shadow now and just kind of accentuating some of the areas. I just added, really all I did was I just added a little bit more of that Prussian blue to the color that I was using, just to darken it up a tad. And then we're going in, I mixed ice green with cream yellow to make this highlight color, and I absolutely adore this highlight. I really think it makes her pop. It does dry down to be a little less dramatic, but I still really like it. So cute. I love using yellows and the warm colors, yellows and pinks for highlights. And then I'm going in with Misty Blue here for the hair. I did kind of a swatch, and at first I was afraid that it was going to be too close to the sky color, that pale lavender, but it ended up being different enough, and I outline the hair, so there ends up being enough differentiation. And by the time I go in with some of the white highlights, it really sets it apart from the sky color, so it doesn't get too lost. But I really like how her hair turned out in this piece. I know that I've said before that I struggle with hair, but I'm liking doing the rounded edges of the hair, and then having this underpainting kind of shine through the Misty Blue and make it more pink. And then you can see here in a minute I go back in with white and kind of hit some areas and highlight some areas, and I really like how it turned out. I'm happy with it. I think it flows with the rest of the piece really well. I don't think it's too distracting. I envy artists that are like masters at drawing hair. Comes to mind is, if you guys know Jacqueline DeLeon. She's like crazy good at hair. I've done studies in past sketchbooks and stuff of how she does her hair, but it's just too tedious for me. I don't really like to draw that tedious. Like, I like to draw a little more complex, but not to that point. But it looks amazing in her style on her girls that she does. But when I try implementing the same technique on my drawings, it just does not work, does not look the same. So I'm just going in with some white here. And then I saw that I forgot to fill in the eyebrows, so I'm going back in with that misty blue to hit the eyebrows. That was an interesting thing of having an underpainting, is I ended up painting more on the hair and the eyes and the eyebrows than I normally do, because I normally just leave it the white of the paper. But it was cool being able to go back in and paint some of those features. And then I'm going in, all I did was mix even more of that Prussian blue in with the shadow color. And I'm just going in and outlining everything. I do, towards the end, lose a little bit of the outlining footage. My phone died, and I didn't notice, but I did catch it pretty quickly, so I think it's like just the hair that we missed getting outlined. But I about had a heart attack because I thought that I lost all of my painting footage, because when my phone charged up, it didn't show up for like a second. And then it popped up and I was like, oh my gosh. But there was a second there where I was like, well, I guess this painting's just for me. Which of course isn't a bad thing. Like, absolutely, it's okay to make art for you, and it should be encouraged to make art just for you. But, you know, I'm trying to get my art out there a little bit more, so I'd be really sad if I lost all the footage of painting this. Especially because I just like to watch my videos back and see my process, and even though I know what my process is, it's just cool to watch yourself paint something and be like, huh, I did that. You know I'm not a very big channel yet, but I am proud of what I've made so far. I think I'm cool. I'd follow me. No pressure. Then I'm going in with that 0 and getting some of the eye details carved out. Adding back in the lashes. I love this little third eye detail. It just makes it look so kind of trippy, I guess. Which I guess is kind of what I was going for with this piece in general. It's so satisfying painting in the pupils and watching everything just come to life. I was able to manage to get putting the highlights in the eyes on video, and that's when everything really pops. My little heart action. Like I said, either in this video or in a previous video, but I've been really into doing hearts under the eyebrows lately. just as a cute little extra detail. And yeah, she's really coming together as I get this last eye kind of sculpted in there. And her little eyelashes, so cute. I really like painting characters with big noses. I don't know, I think big noses are interesting. And I know everyone wants a little button nose, but I'm like, no, give me like big noses. I just think they're visually more interesting and they're more fun to paint and draw and then I'm just going in and doing some of the ears, the ear details. I love now that you can see her face. You can see the pieces really starting to come together. And I'm just doing the finer details in the 0. I go back with the 6 to carve out like the shape of the face and the horns and the hair and stuff. So it's more in line with the rest of the body. But just these little like kind of finer details, it's just easier to use the 0. And yeah, so here I'm just putting in the little dots and signing my name. Eventually signing my name. Jeez Louise. And that brings us to the end of the video, so I'll leave it to Outro Taylor to sign you guys off.
Hey again, welcome to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you watched the whole thing, drop a comment, tell me that I did a good job. My final verdict is that I absolutely love how the underpainting looks, so I'm kind of glad that I just went for it. I think it really ties everything together harmoniously and just looks really good. I knocked this whole painting out in a day, which is crazy for me. It usually takes me way longer. Not that it's like a super complex painting, but still, I got the whole thing done in a day, so that's really cool. Yeah, if you like my style, if you like my vibe, consider sticking around. I make art videos every single week. And yeah, I'll see you guys